Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question that might change your life. What if your greatest strength was silence? Not the silence of doing nothing, not the silence of weakness or giving up, but the silence of power, the silence that lives inside those who have mastered themselves. We live in a world where people are constantly searching for motivation, for shortcuts, for hacks to win. But Master Shi Heng Yi, a modern Shaolin monk and teacher of ancient wisdom, offers a very different truth. He doesn't give you 10 tricks to success. He gives you one secret, one principle that transforms your life from the inside out. Self-mastery through stillness. Because if you can't control your mind will control you. And if you don't learn to be still, the noise of life will drown out your purpose, your focus, your peace. In this video, you will discover what it truly means to win the day, not by doing more, but by becoming more. More focused, more intentional, more disciplined. You'll learn how to simplify your actions, command your mornings, and protect your energy using the teachings of a Shaolin master who has trained not just his body, but his spirit. This isn't about hype, it's about power. The kind of power that grows in stillness, that strengthens in discipline, and that carries you forward when everything else fades. So if you're tired of chaos, if you're ready to live differently, then listen closely. Your transformation starts now. Stop searching, start mastering yourself. We live in a world that constantly tells us to search outside of ourselves for answers. Buy this and try that. Here's the new secret to success. Everywhere you turn, there's a new tool, a new trend, a new shortcut that promises to change your life. But Master Shi Heng Yi, a modern Shaolin warrior and teacher of ancient wisdom, flips the script. He says, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. That sentence carries more power than 1,000 motivational quotes. Because it isn't just about productivity, it's about personal mastery. You see, every day presents you with a challenge, not from the outside world, but from within. The real battle isn't with other people, it's not with time, money, or even circumstances. The real battle is with your own mind. How many times have you caught yourself knowing exactly what to do, but still not doing it? You know, you need to get up earlier. You know you should focus instead of scrolling. You know you should be consistent, but there's a voice inside that resists. And that voice, it's not your enemy. It's untrained. It's undammed. It's reactive instead of intentional. Shi Heng Yi teaches that you don't need more motivation, you need more mastery. Because the difference between people who win the day and those who don't isn't found in external tools. It's found in how they manage their mind. You win the day not by doing more, but by doing what matters, with complete awareness and discipline. Think about it. If you approach one task with excellence, clarity, and presence, that energy bleeds into everything else you do. If you fold your clothes with care, you approach your relationships with more patience. If you train your body with focus, you lead your business with intention. The energy you bring to the small things defines how you handle the big ones. That's why mastering yourself is the foundation. It's the one secret no one wants to hear, because it requires accountability. It means looking inward. It means holding yourself to a standard even when no one is watching. It means no more excuses. Self-mastery is the discipline to follow through. It's the awareness to observe your thoughts before they control you. It's the commitment to live deliberately, not reactively. And here's the beauty. When you begin mastering yourself, everything around you begins to shift. Your days get simpler. Your mind gets clearer. Your actions become sharper. And suddenly you realize you don't need to search anymore, because the secret you've been looking for was always within you. The discipline is the true freedom. In today's world, the word discipline often sounds cold, rigid, harsh. It's almost like a punishment. But according to Master Shi Heng Yi, discipline isn't about control. It's about liberation. He teaches that true freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want, whenever you want, True freedom is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Read that again. This goes against what most people believe. We're told to follow our feelings, chase motivation, and avoid discomfort. But what happens when you live that way? You become a slave to your emotions. Your mood dictates your actions. And without realizing it, your life becomes chaotic, inconsistent, unstable, directionless. But when you train your mind through discipline, you regain control. You become stronger than your urges. You don't wait for the right time. You create the time. You take the action. And it's that power. That's the essence of inner freedom. Master Shi Heng Yi explains it like this. Discipline is remembering what you want. In other words, discipline is not restriction. It's devotion. It's honoring your goals, your vision, your higher self. Even when your lower self tries to convince you to quit. Every day you face with choice. Do I act based on how I feel in the moment? Or do I act based on who I'm becoming? Winners, real warriors, choose the latter. They show up when it's boring. They train when it's hard. They stay focused when distractions surround them. That's what discipline looks like. It's not flashy. It's not loud, but it's powerful. Because each time you follow through on your promises to yourself, you strengthen your identity. You become someone you can trust. And that trust creates momentum. Over time, that momentum compounds. You start to build results. Not just physical results, but mental transformation. You stop relying on hype. You stop needing someone to cheer you on. You become your own source of fire. That's what Master Shi Heng Yi teaches inside the Shaolin tradition. Freedom is not found in doing less, it's found in mastering more. More patience, more self-control, more clarity. When you stop being led by how you feel and start being led by what you value, that's when you break through. And that's the secret most people miss. They keep chasing motivation while discipline keeps building empires in silence. So the next time you feel lazy, tired, distracted, pause, ask yourself, do I want to be free or comfortable? Because comfort might feel good now, but discipline feels better forever. Your mind is a garden. What are you planting? One of Master Shi Heng Yi's most profound teachings is simple, yet life-changing. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant there will grow. Think about that for a second. Every thought, every belief, every idea you allow to settle in your mind is a seed. And over time, those seeds take root. They shape how you see the world, how you show up, and what kind of life you build. But most people don't even realize what they're planting. They go through life unconsciously, allowing weeds of doubt, fear, insecurity, and comparison to grow unchecked. They watch negativity. They experience limitation. They surround themselves with people who pour poison into their minds daily. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they can't focus, why they keep self-sabotaging. It's not your potential that's lacking. It's your mental environment that's overcrowded. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that winning the day starts with mental cultivation. Just as a gardener wakes up every day and waters their plants, removes the weeds, and nurtures the soil, you must do the same for your thoughts. Ask yourself daily, what am I feeding my mind? Am I planting confidence or criticism? Am I growing gratitude or resentment? Because whatever you nurture internally will eventually show up externally. You can't expect peace if you constantly consume chaos. You can't expect growth if you keep entertaining self-doubt. Your mind reflects the quality of your inputs. This is why mindfulness is not a luxury, it's a necessary. When you're mindful, you catch the negative thoughts before they become beliefs. You intercept the mental chatter that says, I can't, and replace it with, I am learning. You stop waiting for motivation and start planting intention. Shi Heng Yi reminds us that your mind doesn't take days off. Every moment, it's absorbing, reflecting, and reinforcing patterns. So if you want to win each day, not occasionally, but consistently, you must protect your garden. You must become a guardian of your thoughts. And no, that doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means being intentional. It means choosing silence over noise, reflection over reaction, gratitude over grumbling. When you cultivate stillness, your mind becomes fertile ground for focus. When you plant purpose, you start waking up with clarity. When you prune distractions, your energy multiplies. That's how you turn ordinary days into extraordinary growth. Not by chasing something outside of you, but by aligning what's inside. So the next time you wake up feeling overwhelmed, unfocused, or discouraged, don't try to fix everything at once. Just ask, what am I planting in my mind today? Because the harvest you reap tomorrow is growing in the soil of your thoughts today. Control the morning, command the day. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that if you want to win the day, you must first win the morning. Why? Because the morning is the beginning of your energy, your mindset, your decisions. It's when your mind is most open, before the noise of the world rushes in. And if you don't intentionally shape that space, something else will. He says, the first hour of your day is your personal training ground. If you control it, you control your day. Let that sink in. Morning doesn't start when your alarm rings. It starts the night before with your decision to take it seriously. Yeah. To wake up not just physically, but spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. But here's the truth. Most people lose the day in the first 10 minutes. They reach for their phone. They scroll through drama, dopamine, and distraction. They compare themselves before they've even had a moment to connect with their own breath. And then they wonder why the entire day feels rushed, anxious, or off balance. Mastery doesn't begin with intensity. It begins with awareness. And that's why the Shaolin approach to the morning is not complicated. It's grounded in ritual. Rituals like sitting in stillness for 5 minutes to breathe, drinking water slowly with presence, moving your body, not to punish it, but to energize it, giving thanks for the opportunity to try again, to live, to grow. These small acts are not just habits, they are declarations. You're telling the universe, I choose to lead today. I choose calm over chaos, intention over reaction. When you own your first hour, you command your energy. You step into the world from a place of control, not desperation. And here's the truth most people don't want to face. If your morning is reactive, your entire day becomes reactive. But if your morning is intentional, your entire day flows with purpose. This doesn't mean you have to wake up at 4 a.m. It means you wake up with clarity. You give yourself space before the world pulls you in 100 directions. Master Shi Heng Yi emphasizes the inner architecture of discipline. And the morning is where it begins every single day. The way you rise is the way you live. And the more consistently you lead your mornings with calm, strength, and presence, the more you build an unshakable foundation, the kind that withstands any pressure the day might bring. So don't lead your mornings to chance. Don't let the world decide your mood. Wake up with purpose. Protect that sacred first hour. Because when you control your morning, you don't just respond to life, you shape it. Simplicity over complexity. Master Shi Heng Yi often reminds us, the more complex your life becomes, the easier it is to lose balance. And that lesson cuts deep, because in today's world we're drowning in complexity. Our lives are filled with too many tasks, too many choices, too many voices demanding our attention. We measure success by how busy we are, but busyness is not progress. Noise is not clarity, and motion is not movement. So what's the antidote? Simplicity? Simplicity isn't about doing less for the sake of laziness. It's about doing less of what doesn't matter so you can do more of what does. Think of your mind like a cup. If it's full of clutter, endless notifications, scattered goals, constant overthinking, there's no room left for peace, for presence, for power. You have to empty the noise before you can hear your true direction. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches this through the Shaolin principle of I Ching, one mind, one focus. In martial arts, you don't train 50 moves halfway. You train one move thousands of times until it becomes part of you. Apply that to life. Instead of chasing 10 goals, master one. Instead of saying yes to everything, say yes to what aligns with your purpose. Instead of multitasking your energy away, be fully present in one moment at a time. You see, complexity creates confusion, but simplicity creates clarity. And clarity is power. Every day you wake up, you're faced with hundreds of choices. And the most powerful people don't make all of them. They eliminate what doesn't matter. They reduce the noise. They protect their energy like sacred currency. This energy leaks through open taps, mentally and emotionally. The more scattered you are, the weaker your presence becomes. But when you simplify your routines, your environment, even your relationships, you create space for deeper work, deeper focus, and deeper fulfillment. This is why monks, warriors, and great masters live minimal lives. Not because they reject the world, but because they refuse to be ruled by it. They understand you can't win the day if you're overwhelmed by it. So start simplifying. Clean your space. Cut down your to-do list to what truly matters. Create boundaries around your time and energy. Prioritize presence over productivity. Simplicity is not weakness. It is strategy. It's the art of stripping away what's unnecessary so what remains is unshakable. And once you commit to simplicity, you begin to see clearly. Way to go. What to do. Who to become. So stop complicating your life, trying to do everything. Start simplifying your life so you can master something. Because at the end of the day, it's not about how much you do. It's about how deeply you do it. The secret is inner stillness. So, what is the one secret to win every single day? According to Master Shi Heng Yi, that secret isn't found in some grand ritual, complicated strategy, or external motivation. It's found in something much simpler, much quieter, something that most people ignore, and yet it's a root of all true power. Inner stillness. In the Shaolin philosophy, inner stillness isn't about silence on the outside, it's about peace on the inside. It's about being able to remain calm while everything around you is moving, to remain centered when life becomes chaotic. Because the world will always move. People will always talk. Challenges will always arise. But the person who masters stillness, that person becomes unshakable. Master Shi Heng Yi often says, stillness is not the absence of movement, it is the quality of presence in every movement. And that's where most people get it wrong. They believe they need to control everything around them to feel at peace. But true peace, the kind that leads to consistency, focus, and power, is found when you control what's within. Think of your mind like a lake. When it's calm and still, it reflects truth. You can see clearly, you respond with wisdom. But when it's stormy, filled with noise and emotional reactions, you lose clarity, you act out of fear, stress, and impulse. You can't win the day when you're emotionally reactive. You can't execute your goals when you're mentally scattered. But when you find that still space within, you rise above it all. That stillness is what gives you space between trigger and response. It's what allows you to respond with purpose, not just react out of habit. It's what allows you to keep going when others quit, not because you're stronger, but because you're grounded. Inner stillness doesn't come from avoiding life. It comes from facing life intentionally, breath by breath, step by step. It comes from creating moments of silence in your day to reconnect with yourself. In a moment to breathe, a moment to reflect, your moment to observe your thoughts, not become them. That's where awareness grows. And awareness is what strengthens discipline. Because when you're still, you're not controlled by emotion, noise, or external pressure. You are anchored in your own energy. You move deliberately. You speak with intention. You act with power. That is how you win the day, not by racing through it, but by being present in it. So if you take anything from the wisdom of Master Shi Heng Yi, let it be this. Stillness is the secret. Stillness gives you control. Stillness trains your focus. Stillness sharpens your purpose. Because in the stillness, you don't just find peace, you find yourself. And when you operate from that place, no storm can move you. No fear can stop you. And no day is wasted. So now you know. The secret isn't hidden in some distant mountain or buried in some forgotten scroll. It's not locked inside books or only accessible to monks or masters. The secret to winning every single day is inner stillness. That's it. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches us that stillness is the foundation of clarity, power, and presence. In a world that constantly pushes you to move faster, speak louder, and chase more, the real victory is found in slowing down and becoming deeply aware. Stillness is not the absence of action, it is the quality of the action. It is the difference between chaos and control, between surviving the day and commanding it. And when you build that stillness through discipline, awareness, and simplicity, you begin to live with intention. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop chasing everything and start choosing what truly matters. That's how warriors move. That's how monks live. And that's how you win the day, not just once, but over and over again. Because once you understand that your mind is your most powerful tool, once you take control of your mornings, once you learn to simplify, to breathe, to focus, you begin to live differently. You don't need external motivation. You don't need constant validation. You become rooted, focused, aligned. That is where real strength lives. So let this be your reminder. You don't need more noise. You don't need more hype. You don't need to be everything to everyone. You need to be still. You need to be intentional. You need to be disciplined. From that space, you will find your rhythm. Choose your momentum. And with every day that you choose inner mastery, the world around you begins to reflect that power. Your decisions sharpen, your mind calms, and the chaos that once ruled your life begins to fall silent. So take this wisdom and make it your own. Guard your mornings. Protect your peace. Focus your thoughts. Simplify your life. And above all, return to that still place inside you. Again and again, until it becomes your natural state. Because that stillness, that's where your strength is waiting. And when you operate from that strength, there's nothing that can shake you. Not doubt, not fear, not failure. You will win, not because the world made it easy, but because you mastered the hardest thing of all, yourself. So now you know the secret. Stillness is your strength. Discipline is your weapon. And self-mastery is the path. Walk it every day. Win every day.